that is exactly what we're getting into. The way to interact with me is using the hashtag What's Poppin' on Twitter, and you can tweet me at Shiiru Mwangi, and you can also follow us on Instagram at Icon Radio KE. I'm really excited to be here today. Aside from giving you all the tea, I have a really interesting guest in studio with me, or coming through in studio with me. She has a really different sound with regard to her music, so I need you to stand by for that. But let's get straight into everything that we're talking about, starting with getting paid in exposure. Listen, guys, we have all done that. We've all been paid in exposure, whether you are on attachment, internship, whether you are doing some sort of creative work. It's really, really common. But you know, when a video vixen in TZ is getting paid about 2 to 5 million for appearing in Diamond's visualizer, that is Zuena, one of my favorite songs from TZ that was released during the past couple of months. In Kenya, a video vixen has called out singer Bahati for ignoring her demands to be paid for featuring in his Athiambo song. So this was one of the biggest tunes of 2021. It featured Jaguar, and it had Babu Owino. So Brenda Beatrice Otieno, who is the name of the main character on the video, the one who was looking really good, alikuwa amebeba huko, she was like the main attraction. She was Athiambo. Apparently, she has not been paid. So she was interviewed by YouTuber Nicholas Kioko, and she called out the singer for the second time, demanding to be paid 4 million Kenya shillings. So you do know that she was the reason why the song went viral, because of her hefty backside. And she argued that she will be forced to go to court if she is not paid any amount by Bahati within 24 hours of the time she released the statement. Now, me knowing the way I know Bahati just came to Instagram, and he just did not, he put out a statement in a way that was a bit vague, wondering what was happening with regard to the song. I'm sure you did see that. If you haven't, go check out his Instagram. But he really did not talk about exactly what happened with regard to the compensation. So apparently the compensation is to a tune of 4 million. Right? It's to a tune of 4 million. And, you know, we're just waiting to see how this goes. The thing about systems in Kenya is that there are none, or they are little to none. So I don't know if video vixens have like a standard rate, if they have an association, if there is just some contract things that people are, you know, putting together before they get on music videos, because Athiambo is actually a huge song, and for one person to have made the song even go more viral and not been paid, it's actually a really, really, really sad thing. But moving on swiftly to the Hollywoods, to Hollywood, chart-topping singer The Weeknd has announced that he wants to kill his stage name and be reborn. So the 33-year-old has changed his name across his social media accounts to Abel Tesfaye, which in my opinion is an Ethiopian name, but he's Canadian, which is his birth name, after performing as The Weeknd since 2009. The Canadian hinted at the change, explaining that it's gotten to a place and a time where it's getting ready, he's getting ready to close the Weeknd chapter. And he insisted that the change isn't a retirement announcement, which is a good thing. He'll still put out music, but only as Abel Tesfaye. He will put out his final album as The Weeknd during this year. But guys, this is not the last time. This is not the first time that The Weeknd has gone through some sort of change or rebirth. He underwent some serious facial reconstructive surgery around 2021, which looked like botched billionaire socialite facial reconstructive surgery was looking a bit strange. Fans all over the world wondered what was happening. So he came out and talked about, having gone through the surgery. Now he has changed his name back to Abel Tesfaye. So I'm wondering if there was like some identity crisis issues going on. But you know what? I need you to interact with me on Twitter using the hashtag What's Popping. We are at Icon Radio KE. If you're catching us live on YouTube, you can comment down below on those two stories. That is Kutolipwa kwa Adhiambo na pia the rebirth of the weekend. When we come back, we will be talking about Jonathan Majors and Megan Good going bad, as well as a really interesting topic about what the boundaries are with regard to your mother-in-law. That is coming up right here on Icon Radio. This is What's Popping. I am Shiiru Mwangi. Good afternoon. Bag Lady playing right here on Icon Radio KE. This is What's Poppin'. I am Shiiru Mwangi. The name of that song is Bag Lady, as I have said, but it is by the guest that I am going to have in the next couple of minutes. I need you to stand by for that. We are still talking about everything that is happening with regard to your entertainment news. Keep commenting down below if you're tuned in on YouTube. But moving on swiftly to Jonathan Majors and potentially Megan Good, who are reportedly dating. So this rumor has been happening during the last week after they had been seen together during the last couple of months, and especially since Creed 3 dropped. So People, that is the magazine, confirmed on Saturday that Jonathan Majors, who is 33, and Megan Good, who is 41, are actually dating. The new relationship comes after Majors was charged with multiple misdemeanor counts of assault and harassment by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office following an arrest in New York City on March 25th. So that is where the danger is. So you remember when Creed 3 was released, Jonathan Majors was like at the top of his game. Everyone was praising him on Twitter. And then kidogo, within weeks of Creed 3 being released, huyo, from grace to grass, guys or some women came out to talk about him having assaulted him. So obviously his lawyer, in a previous statement, the actor completely denies the assault. But this is where the danger is. Meghan Markle is apparently getting low-key judged or low-key, scrutinized kidogo kwa sababu she looks like she has gone back to dating bad boys, but only because Jonathan Majors has been accused of several counts of harassment and assault. So you might know that Megan Good had her divorce or got divorced from Devon Franklin, who is a Parsi, early last year or late 2021, early 2022. And, she had like a stretch of about 9 years in the marriage where Megan Good was not really doing the most. She had become like a good church girl, wife material. They had a book together. And then suddenly after her divorce, she started popping again. She became the Megan Good that we knew. Like exactly how Janelle Monáe is behaving. Not behaving, exactly like that calibration that we're seeing Janelle Monáe sort of finally coming to. That's exactly how Megan Good is being viewed post-divorce. So this is a bit strange. Megan Good has actually, been providing support to Jonathan Majors, and the two of them are in a romantic relationship. I need you to comment down below on exactly what you think. If you watched Creed, if what you think about Megan Good dating Jonathan Majors. But moving on swiftly to yet another Meghan. But this Meghan for UK, Meghan Markle, and her husband Prince Harry were apparently involved in a chaotic car chase with paparazzi in New York on Tuesday night that could have resulted in a catastrophic outcome, according to their spokesman. So the Sussexes were pursued by photographers after leaving the Women of Vision Awards at the city's ballroom somewhere. They were like doing a event somewhere in New York, and then they were in a convoy that also included Meghan Markle's mom. So apparently kidogo ndio paparazzi. Apparently kidogo they were being chased down. Apparently kidogo this looks like what happened to Diana or Princess Diana in 1997, which actually killed now the person that could have been the Queen of England right now, Princess Diana. So critics and guys on the internet are not sure if this is yet another, this is yet another story. Well, I wouldn't call it clout, but yet another story where, Meghan and Prince Harry are leaning towards the victimhood, or leaning towards feeling like, it's them against the paparazzi, it's them against their big, huge family. And this pretty sounds familiar, and of course comes after the coronation, weeks after the coronation of the now King Charles the Third, who, by the way, if you do not know, will be coming to Kenya within years in a historic visit to the first Commonwealth country. I mean, like, he will visit Kenya, will be the first Commonwealth country he will have visited as the King of England. And, maybe it could be in respect or to honor the country where his mom, that is in Kenya, was first learned that she would be queen. So I need you to tell me if these coincidences are just too much. How is it that 26 years later, the exact same thing would happen to Meghan and Prince Harry? But moving on swiftly, we have a really interesting guest coming through or coming on board. There's one more story that I'm going to have her, talk to me or banter with me about. Her name is Tori Mogorenes. She has a really special, unique sound, which is exactly what we're going for on What's Poppin'. Every single week, if there's someone that you know who has a really unique sound of music, Alte, Kikuyu, Luo, R&B, just the very, very unique sounds, I need you can comment down below and tell them or plug them to this show if they would like to come along or to come through. But we're going to get back into some music. Remember to interact with me on YouTube. If you're catching us live, comment down below if there's any song that you would like to listen to, if there's anything that you would have, you would like to ask our guests. We've been playing her music back to back. And right about now, I want us to replay her music, starting with Child of the Light, which is playing right here on Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug. Good afternoon. Maumaji, Mogorenes, Msito, Nikki Mbishi playing right here on Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug. This is What's Poppin'. I am Shiiru Mwangi. How you doing? Thank you so much for joining me. And right about now, ladies and gentlemen, for the moment that we have been waiting for, right about now, you just listened to her discography. That is her brand new song, Maumaji. I'm talking about the one, the only, Tori Mogorenes. Welcome, karibu tena sana. So let's just start by your name. So when I read it, the first part of your name, Mogorenes. Mogore sounds like it's a Kikuyu. It's a Kikuyu name. Yeah. I have heard you rap in Kikuyu, singing Kikuyu, but why Mogorenes?
Mogore it's a Kikuyu name, as you said.
Yes.
And it means bot.
Bot, yes. I know.
Yeah. And people are priceless. Mm-hmm. So my favorite cartoon character says, there's no charge for awesomeness.
Ooh, who is this?
This is Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, Kung Fu Panda. Okay. Uh-huh.
So there's no charge for awesomeness. So Mogore plus awesomeness equals to Mogorenes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Ooh, so I actually realized that I did not turn on your mic. So we're going to just rewind and come back again, selector. So we have Mogorenes in the building. She was just talking about her name. So you were saying that Mogore is a Kikuyu name, obviously. Yeah. That means
bots. And people are priceless. Yes. So my favorite cartoon character says there's no charge for awesomeness. So Mogore plus awesomeness equals to Mogorenes. So I'm priceless.
Yay, yeah. Mogorenes. I feel like we're in a spoken word event and we need to snap to that. Welcome so much. Welcome very much. Welcome, basically, to What's Poppin'.
Thank you for having me.
You have a brand new tune out featuring Msito, Nikki Mbishi, but you've been around. You have a really, really dope discography. You have Giuliani on one of your tracks.
Yeah.
But let's go back to who you are, how long you've been doing this, what you're about. Talk to us about yourself.
Okay. About myself, I can finish the whole day. So what exactly about myself do you want me to start?
Oh, when did you start singing? When, what's your genre of music? Where are you from? Yes.
Okay. Myself, I started singing when I was a child.
Like
like we all do. Yeah. So, but there's some people who didn't start as children. They just knew how to sing, but they didn't choose it as a career.
Yes.
But me as a child, because I grew up in a musical family, it was so clear to me as a child that that is the path I wanted to take from a young age.
Yes.
The only disconnect is that I didn't know what it takes. I didn't know it's fun doing music, but it comes with its challenges. So because I was just enjoying myself while doing it as a child, I didn't know it had its ups and downs. And I'm learning that, and I'm loving the journey so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say you came from a musical background, how did that look like? Is it your dad that was in the choir? Was your dad an artist? Your mom?
It's my siblings.
Okay.
My siblings, my bros are rappers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One is a spoken word artist. One is an acrobat. So there are artists in our house. There are people who paint. So yeah, it's art in general. I also do crochet, so I do fashion. So
yes, you're also a fashion designer.
Yeah. So growing up, there were a lot of people coming to our place. Uko Flani used to sleep at our place sometimes.
Wow.
Maji Maji used to come there.
So you
All those
grew up
people
as you were
coming.
little. These guys were older and they'd come home. And
Yeah, Giuliani, all of them, they used to come home, and we'd share a meal,
Yeah.
we'd jam to some music,
yeah.
go to events together,
Yeah.
and so
That-
it was
that
it was
your
fun.
core. Yeah.
Yeah, though my mom had a lot of grace because cooking for all those people, it's a lot.
Yeah, wow. But that
Yeah.
means she has supported your music since you guys started since your brother started
Yeah.
rapping, since your other brother
Yeah.
maybe pursued spoken word.
Yeah.
And now you
Yeah, our
within your-
parents are really supportive of
Yes.
what we do. So I am honored and happy to have that growing up. So yeah.
So it's interesting because I just found out that you had come for the vault with Jirongi and Myra and Jimmy, and now I was wondering. I know you rap, but I didn't know how. Now you met maybe, for example, Jirongi. Now
Yeah.
you put two and two together, so
Yeah.
you grew up with them
Yeah.
around you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So when did you put out your first single?
Okay, I started actually with an EP. I didn't start with a single that I put out. Maybe the other ones were collaborations that were put up not by me because I was a kid back then. And I didn't know how the social media thing works and stuff like that. So
How old were you? How old was this? Was it Kitambo? Or
okay, yeah, it's a while. It's a long
it's a while
time.
back.
Yeah, it's a while back. But for me to release something as myself, not as a collaboration or anything, it was I think it's 2017. Yeah, I released my first EP called Scriptured. Yeah.
Which has Bag Lady, it has Presence, Songambele, Pursued by Love.
Yeah.
And when you listen to well, we'll unpack that.
Yeah.
But did you study music in school?
Yeah, I did. I went to Sauti Academy.
You went to Sauti
Yeah.
Academy.
Yeah. Immediately I finished high school. That's what I went to do. Yeah.
So you knew you were going to study music
Yeah.
and you got into Sauti Academy.
Yeah.
So in high school, did you have like a musical run? Were you in a girl group? Were you the one leading the national anthem, the school anthem?
Not exactly, but I was in the choir and in the drama, but
Oh, you were in drama.
yeah, and the basketball team, but it wasn't something. It was mostly for the functions. I enjoyed singing in the choir, but it's mostly for the fun of it. You know, I'm a person who likes to experience it while it's still there. I don't want to like say I was in high school and then don't experience the experience of high school. Yeah.
So how would you describe the genre of music that you do?
Let me say for the most part it's soulful.
Soulful.
Yeah.
And this is inspired by music that you grew up listening to,
Yeah.
or talk to us about that.
I grew up listening to a lot of neo soul, a lot of hip hop, a lot of roots, reggae, jazz.
Ooh.
So folk, funk, everything. But I recently started listening to a bit of country, and now I listen to also a bit of amapiano here and there, and a bit of Afrobeat. Yeah, I listen to a wide range of music, so
Yeah.
I'd say I'm eclectic.
Eclectic.
I listen to so many
many.
things. So what I write is what I feel like writing at the moment, and I don't know if I mentioned I also listen to a lot of hip hop, hardcore hip hop.
So
Yeah.
who is hardcore hip hop? Like
I listened to KRS-One, Gangsta Guru, Tupac,
ooh,
Master Ace, Talib Kweli, Common, Lauryn Hill,
ooh, Lauryn Hill,
Flowetry. Yeah, a lot of that growing up. The list is endless. Nas. Yeah, I really loved Nas.
the Fugees.
The Fugees, yeah, definitely.
Okay. So let's first nut around neo soul and talk to me about the impact that neo soul has with to your music, because you've told me you're a soulful artist, and I really love neo soul. Lauryn Hill, her one and only album, The
Yeah.
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, really spoke to my 20s, to my mid 20s, because it's like a guidebook.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
you
yeah.
get pregnant, you have Zion.
Yeah, yeah.
When you're lost in life, you have everything.
Yeah.
Everything. when
You're
you're trying to get over someone, you're like X Factor. I tried to,
Yeah.
when you're trying to, when you've gotten over someone, you have I used to love him. Now I don't. So, and we have India Ari.
Yeah.
And all these impactful messages that they have, which I kind of see translates to your music, because when I first listened to your music and when you came in, I asked you, so I'm sensing a bit of, activism, not activism, just some bit of impact, social impact in your music. So talk to me about the impact of your soul to your writing or to your music in general.
Okay. I listened to a lot of pop culture, we'll call it secular music, and like there are so many labels. But and also, so I grew up listening to a lot of neo soul and all that jazz, and it really I learned a lot, good and bad, a lot of good so far. So I picked for both worlds what works for me, and I'm a Christian. I'm a staunch Christian. I like music that brings impact, and what I liked about when I listened to jazz and roots, I listened to a lot of roots and jazz, and what I learned is their music outlived their lives. Even when they are dead, people are still listening to their music, people are still getting touched, inspired, and that's what I wanted in my music. I used to call myself a gospel artist, but because that comes with a lot of stereotypes.
Like what?
Like my music doesn't sound so gospel. Some people hear me singing about activism. They're like, is that gospel? I'm like, Jesus was also
an activist.
Exactly.
Telling Mary Magdalene.
Yeah. So because of that, I don't call myself a gospel artist. I say my mission is to be salt and light. So that is what I want to spread with my music.
Another snap. Yeah. So would you consider yourself what they call I don't want to call you an underground artist. What do they call them? Would you consider, before I get the name, an underground artist? Are you trying to come up? Are you trying are you trying for your music to really be heard, or are you singing for a certain target audience? For you just, I'm gonna do my music the way I'm going to do my music, whether you hear it or not, or if I pop, like I become commercial from this music, then let it be. If I do not,
I wouldn't consider myself as a pop artist. That is not my pursuit.
I mean, if you pop, like if you
blow up, okay. I wouldn't mind. Actually, that would be a good thing, because I'll get more people having the chance to listen to the kind of music that I do, and my main focus is to be impactful. There's someone who said fame is like a flame, it burns out, but influence outlives your life. So influence. that is my aim. That is my aim.
You just want to do your music, leave your legacy, and move on. So
I would like it to reach, like, to be everyone's jam, but everyone has their own thing. I'd like my music, I want it to be listened to, like when kids hear this, all people, men, women, like everyone, I want it to hit everyone. That's why I make sure that even with the visuals, everything I share is intentional, that it doesn't cut off the people who I want to reach. But I understand that everyone has their own thing. Yeah, and I am cool with that.
Cool with that.
Yeah.
That is exactly what Jadi Music, they had stopped by a few weeks back, and I asked them about what they think about being called underrated, and they told me, we don't care about being called underrated. If you love our music, you love our music.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you do not love our music, that's fine.
Yeah.
But let's talk about your creative process. When you sit down and decide that you want to write music, does it come abruptly? Do you have like a process where you align your chakras and meditate and call on to Lauryn Hill and Tupac and Floetry to inspire you? Do you have to listen to some music? Talk to me about that.
It can be, I don't know, I don't have a specific formula, but mostly I freestyle. I freestyle, then I feel like, oh, this is nice. Let me record it before I forget this flow. Before I didn't record, so I lost a lot of things, a lot of creative stuff. So when I feel like freestyling at that time, so that's what I do. And sometimes like Maumaji, how it came about is Sito reached out to me. He's like, oh, there's this song we're doing with this song we are doing with Nicki Mbishi. It's called Maumaji. They want me to do something in there. So I was like, just send me the beat and let me feel it the way I feel it. That's what I write. So I was like, okay, this is what I want to share. So I wrote in consideration of I want to talk about, because I'm a Kikuyu. It would be a disservice for me to say I'm a Christian and I wouldn't talk about Mau Mau and Maji Maji and how they've impacted us.
Mau Mau, Maji Maji, Mau
Yeah,
Maji. Okay.
and they have really impacted us. My grandfather was in Mau Mau, so it would be a disservice not to honor them and to talk about how it's affecting us, and it's a continuous struggle. Even there's an artist who said we are still wading in the waters, coking blood, marinating in the water, meaning the struggle is still the same. We are still struggling, but we acknowledge what they did, and we want to follow in their footsteps. And though our battle is not the same, but we are still in battle. And I'd really, that's what I did. And I also want to bring about the fact that I want people to understand that this battle, we cannot win it ourselves. It's a God thing. It's a God thing. We can't separate it. Yeah.
So let's talk about your EP Scriptured, which has predominantly what I would like to call gospel music, but what you're not trying to call gospel music.
Yeah. It's fine.
Was it you were trying to come into the industry as a gospel artist?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
what
that.
changed? Because right now you're saying you're a bit contemporary.
No, I wouldn't call myself contemporary as well. I'm disowning the labels. I am just a Christian who is doing music. Whether anyone would call it anything they like, just know that I am a Christian and I'm trying to spread the light and be salt.
Let's talk about Bag Lady. Talk to me about that jam.
Bag Lady. We had a school assignment when I was in Saudi. We were told to write a song. So like this was like my first
song to have written.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, So I wrote there was a verse in our house. My mom had bought like a something. I don't know how to call it. It was written Psalms 55 verse 22. It says
Psalms 55 verse
22.
22.
Yeah,
Says,
I hope I'm right. It says, cast your burdens on the Lord and he will sustain you. So I was in so I was like, this is a really good verse. Let me write about it. And I was actually thinking about my mom's journey and how God has been in her life, and those people who have really struggled and God has shown up for them. So I really wanted to encourage people, not knowing I was prophesying to my dark season that this song was going to speak to me. So when later on, after I recorded that song, listened to it, there's a time I was like, God, you're really silent on me. Then when I listened to that song again, I was like, wow.
I really did speak to myself.
Yeah, I was really speaking to myself, and I like that about my relationship with God. He does things before and then reverse engineers it and shows you this is for you. It was not just about other people, it's also for you. And that's what I like about it. Yeah.
Beautiful. So bag
Lady.
So is it bag, BAG?
Yeah, bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there like a proverbial bag, or is it an actual bag?
No, it's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor, metaphorically.
Yeah.
So he puts you in his bag, or what happens? What?
Okay. Bag ladies, it represents baggage.
Oh, baggage.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
baggage.
carry a lot of things,
Ah,
a lot of trauma everywhere, and if you don't heal, you bleed on other people.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just cast them out and just
Bag lady. Well, that does not even. I mean, well, it has gospel ideation. You are talking about God helping you within your journey.
Yeah.
But I can see how you don't want to put labels, because it's also talking about mental health.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind if someone else put the label. I just don't want to put myself in that label, because at least for you see it's gospel, but for someone else, they wouldn't even pay attention to the lyrics. They're like, is this gospel? Is it? Yeah. So I'm like, just listen to my song, just listen to the lyrics. You decide for yourself where you categorize it. But I don't want to do it for you, because I'm tired of trying to explain myself. Yeah.
So I also noticed that some of the most soulful artists also have that thing where
redefining moment,
or where they put out a song and we're left wondering, is this a love song? Is she in love with God? Or is she in love with a guy?
Yeah.
So you can't really place it. So the scriptured EP has Baggage Lady, It's Bag Lady, Presence, Songa Mbele, Pursued by Love. And then you have a really dope collabo with your childhood big brother, Giuliani. The name of the song is Waga.
Yeah.
Now you coming into your gospel, into your hip hop form.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how that came to be.
There's a friend who recommended me to this group, this activism group called Missing Voices.
Missing Voices.
Yeah, and they called a few artists, including me. They were like, we want to talk about police brutality and how it has been affecting our country. And I was like, when in 2015 I lost my brother. He was killed, so I was like, maybe this is time for me to talk about this. And that was like my first encounter with writing an activism song. So then when I did it, actually that is actually what I did. I was like, yeah, sure. They asked me for my bio and my music. They're like, yeah, we want to work with you. So I was like, yeah, we went in the studio, we did our thing.
And
Yeah.
Giuliani jumped on
Yeah.
it because he has like a long-standing history with activism
Yeah, yeah.
music.
So they called him. They called us. Yeah. Mm.
And then now Children of the Light, which also mirrors.
Yeah, that
Yes.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
Because I noticed something else is there's no much. Most of the people who who sing activism music, they are not in the gospel industry, and I felt like it's a disservice. Like there's a huge gap in there, while the Bible is all about justice. So I felt there was a gap there, and I wanted to fill that gap because it's a real issue, and it will be a disservice not to talk about it. So yeah, that's what I did.
So Children of the Light is about
It
stepping out in your.
Yeah, that was that was a hard song for me to write. I was you know what, when I was told because before we did Waga,
Yes.
they called me to an activism event, and I didn't have any activism songs. So I was like, I need to write, and I want to write something about my brother. So when I was writing, I was just writing and then crying at the same time. I was like, I thought I had healed at that time, but clearly I had not. So I actually put my writing things down and went to the living room and just
Cried.
and then I came back. I was like, let me just try to write it as a third party so that I don't feel the pain as much. Next time I'd like to write that song, to rewrite that song as the one who is going through it. But I wrote that song for my bro and for the people who has lost their lives, and the victims, the mothers of victims, who really, because when I was writing, I was seeing my mom that day when we had those news, how she cried, and I still see it to this day, and I want them to see that they are seen, they are heard, they are not alone in this. Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. Let's talk about the Mogore-ness in your music. That is now the Kikuyu aspect which you can easily miss if you're not listening keenly, because it really flows with your vocals. And it sounds like you've just sung something. When you come back, you're like, oh my God, this is Kikuyu. Why is it important for you to incorporate Kikuyu in your music?
I think that's just who I am. I love speaking in Kikuyu. It's just I was not taught by my parents.
Who
but
taught you?
Inoro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my mom is always watching Inoro TV. So I was like,
Kumkumbagia.
yeah. So when I hear something, I write it down. Then I'm like, what's the meaning of this? Da, da, da. So when you hear,
not even think that. You sound so fluent.
Yeah, exactly. But my mom thinks otherwise. But I'm like, you're the one who didn't teach me.
Yeah.
So she's also surprised when I write lyrics in Kikuyu. So but I like it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be original, and I like my background. I'm proud of it. So I was like, let me do this.
All right.
Yeah.
What keeps you going? What keeps you going in the industry, and what keeps you going personally?
That's a good question. I think what keeps me going, it's I love what I do. I really, really love what I do. And I believe it's my purpose. I've tried to run, but it's not worked. I have family and friends and fans who believe in me. Those are the people who keep me going.
All right.
Yeah.
That's in the industry aspect. What about you personally? On a day-to-day, when you're not okay, when you're not A1, when you're like 60% and the 40% is kind of hot and fiery?
Yeah.
What keeps you going?
I think it's God and the fact that I know this is my purpose. This is what I was born to do. That is what keeps me going.
All right.
Yeah.
So, how does the future look like? Any new music? Do you, what instruments do you play?
A bit of violin and guitar.
A bit of violin and guitar.
Yeah.
Do you mind doing like an acoustic? Well, it would be a cappella now because it's not
it's
acoustic.
been a minute. It's been a minute. I'm a bit rusty right now. It's been a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
But maybe next time.
Okay. So what's next? Do you have another EP? Do you have an album, a single, any more collaborations?
Yeah. I am prepping for an album called Pursued by Love.
Pursued by Love. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is also a song on the EP scripture.
Yeah, that is one of the songs. I was like, when I did that song by Pursued by Love, at that time I thought I had an idea what love is, but
God's
it's
love
it's
or like
something
love.
so wide that I couldn't fix it on one song.
Is it God's love or just love in general? When you say I thought I had an idea of what love is.
Let's say God is love, so it's the whole thing. It's the whole thing.
Do you now have an idea?
Yeah, I have an idea and I'm still learning. I'm open to learning as well.
So by your definition, what is love?
Oh my God, that is a hard question.
You can, I mean, of course, it's completely wild and it's different for everyone. But what is love to you or for you?
I think I would describe it with its attributes. It's kind.
It's kind.
It's giving.
It's giving.
It's selfless. It's not puffed up.
What is love?
It's
being
caring.
puffed up? Oh, it's caring.
Oh, no, puffed up. It's mean it doesn't have ego. Yeah. It's really wide for me. It's relationship. It's community. It's really wide. I can't put it in simple words. But yeah. For now, let me just leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll stand by for an album, Pursued by Love. Coming out when?
Before the end of this year.
Before the end of this year.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much for your awesomeness. Thank you so much for your deepness. We'll definitely connect on your playlist. What are you listening to, by the way? Tell me like 3 songs that you're listening to right now.
Right now, I'm listening to Infinity by Pompey. I'm listening to Caged Birds by Tobenigwe.
Oh, Tobenigwe.
I'm listening to...
He just had a child.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. Nice. I am listening to... Who is this? I'm listening to JP Cooper.
JP Cooper.
I'm listening to Detail by Jonathan McReynolds. And Adulting by Jonathan McReynolds and Mali Music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sawa.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming through. As usual.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. I would like to have you again when you drop your album. So please make sure
every month I am releasing a new song every month. That's been a trend that I had started this year. So the other month I released Children of the Light. This month was Maumaji.
So next month we should stand
by.
So plug your handles on Instagram, on Facebook, on Spotify, on digital platforms.
Yeah. Okay, so you can follow me.
On such short notice, it was really good. It was really dope. It's what's the time? It's 27 minutes past 4 p.m. You are tuned into What's Poppin'. My name is Shiiru Mwangi. As usual, just keep your feedback coming. Any questions that you might have for her, go and check out the Mogoreness. That is Victoria Mogore.
Yeah.
Mogoreness. All her music is on YouTube, and you can follow her on Instagram
At Mogorenes.
at Mogoreness or Victoria Mogore.
Victoria Mogore is Facebook.
On Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. As usual, I will catch you on the next one. Stay safe. Do not do anything that I will not do. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.